Hello there, it's Fiona from Weekly Sewing Bee. Today what I'm doing is I'm going to make, this is really basic sewing. This is, I suppose, yeah, it's one of the first sews. And it's going so well. My pen even works. Okay, so what I have here is two silk scarves. And I am literally going to sew them together so that they make a top. So what I'm going to end up with is a floppy, very loose fitting top. Yeah, very comfy to wear and made out of two scarves. So you can buy scarves unmade, as it were. So what I'm first of all doing is I'm hemming just around here. I'm not going to bother doing that because I don't need to, okay? And the way I'm hemming it is with one of these little feet, because that's how it would be hemmed if you bought it. Okay, so I'm sort of cheating, but there is no point doing the bottom half. So let me get rid of my paperwork, because I do kind of organise myself. Yes, this is what I'm doing this week. Woohoo! I know, but not very well, obviously, if I can't find a pen. Now, I love these little feet, and it's just practice. You just have to get practice. And I have no idea if there's a left and a right one. So what you have to do is start at the bottom and work your way up, and start at the top and work your way down, so that you can do it on the right side. Although once it's actually sewn, you can get away with it being on the inside out. So yeah, a couple of stitches on the flat and then just pick up the cloth and turn it. Try not to get the actual thread caught around your bobbin, because it looks a mess. I'm a big culprit for that, I really am. Give yourself loads of room so you can get started before you go. Lovely. So what I've got left is this, and let me just find a nice bit to show you. That's what your seam should look like. I know, very easy to do. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put these seam side together, and you can tell by the speed in which I'm managing to find out which is seam side that it is tricky to do. So these are right side out. Now what I need to do, you can see where it takes me a bit of time just to get going, is I'm going to fold this in half, and then I'm going to fold this in a quarter, so I know now to sew just this quarter, which is an eighth. So an eighth and an eighth. And I've measured it by folding the material rather than taking a measurement, because as long as you can see that it's big enough, it's fine. And it's more important to get these two the same length than it is to get them, say, 4 inches or something. So let's just fold those ends in. Now with the right side out, I'm going to do a stitch along to that pin, and I have a matching pin on the opposite side. Now you can sew straight lines with this foot on, it's no problem, you just have to keep it flat. So I've sewn up to my pin and I've done a couple of reverse stitches. I'm taking the fabric to my other pin and I'm doing the same again. Now all these flaky bits, just fold them up and make sure that they're all facing the right way, because this seam is going to be sealed. So when you're choosing these cloths, I've said scarves, obviously I'm using a material that's suitable for scarves. You really just need one that's flowing. Now I'm just coming up to do this other seam, so I'm turning it inside out, and I'm just going to tuck all that muff in because it's all a bit messy, and then I'm going to do another seam. Now this seam is 1/8 just along to the top, and this is going to be the inside of the garment. So let's take that up. And I haven't changed foot, but that is just pure laziness. I will do it in a minute. So there we go. I'm just going to pause here whilst I'm going to have a little dig around, because I have a perfect bit of ribbon for this, and I will just grab it. One of my drawers, you can kind of suck things up the back, so you have to check in the one below that it's not in there. Okay. Oh, that's really gone, hasn't it? I'm going to pause for a second. Oh, it was only a second as well. I put it out and put it beside me. So ribbon, fine ribbon. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the needle down, and I'm just going to insert this ribbon in here. I'm going to do it a bit of an angle just to get it right, and rather than give you misleading information, what I've done is I've used this piece of ribbon and measured it against the back of my neck, because I want it sloppy, but I don't want it indecent. Okay, so I'm going to remove the pin. Got it inside out now, so right side to right side, and I'm just going to run the stitches along there. And then, now that I've got the sewing machine started, lifting the needle, and I'm just going to run there. And what I'm going to do again is I'm going to tuck all my woofy bits in, because that's really a mess, isn't it? And if there are too many of them, you can trim it. And it's literally just pushing it in with, you can get a needle. Rather than tidy my bits up, I've just decided to sew over them. Okay, so that's that for the top of the blouse, and you can see that it will float nicely along the neckline. Now we have to decide how far up we're going to do the sleeves. Now it's really up to you whether you want to have them with a like slip top underneath, or you just want to keep this on. And I recommend folding it in half and then going halfway. And then it's the same again. So we'll have the right sides together, and then we're going to turn it inside out and put the other sides together. So now you could do this with just sew it and then go over it with a cross stitch. It's really up to you. I think given overall French seams are better, so especially when you're dealing with light fabrics and the heat as well, you want it to be as cool as possible to wear. Now when you're sewing this sort of fabric, you do have to watch that you don't over pin it, because of it you will be able to see the pinholes. So that's why I'm being very just fold it in half and do it, because it does damage the reft and the thread. So yes, same again on the other side, just folding it in half and then starting from halfway. So, and I'm going to sew on rather than waste fabric thread. And then I'm just going to sew down. And then a matter of turning it inside out and sealing these seams. Now, I did think about doing this rolling thread, rolling seam to do the bottom as well, but I think I would like to fold it so that I have a little bit of weight. But we really are getting there now. I'm just going to seal this seam in. Feel how far I need to sew in through my fingers, although I do want to keep an eye out for where I need to stop. It's very easy just to keep on sewing. There we go, and I can actually sew off like that. So okay, so I've got the other side, and rather than coming up on the other side, I'm going to come down. So I'm literally sewing on because I'm on the wrong side. There we go. And now I'm going to do that fold again just on these seams. Now a trick is, if you are doing this sort of seam, oh, I'm a bit high there, sorry, is just to trim off this French seam so that it just doesn't make too much weight to the seam. And then we fold it, and then we fold it again, and we're literally running through. So let's get the front half done, and then we can have a look at it. So it's super simple and super cool. Yeah, if you want a really lightweight blouse for your holes. And there we are. So I sew 4 or 5 inches, and then I fiddle, and then I sew the next couple of inches. And the more you do it, the easier it is. Obviously, don't practice with expensive fabrics, but yeah, it's all good fun. So let's have a look where we are now. Get it all round the right way. And oh, it's all a bit twisted. Every now and again, because I sew straight on and straight off, I have a bobbin thread caught up, and then it doesn't lie straight. All the way around. So there we are. A very simple, very easy scarf top. So thank you ever so much for watching. Please like, subscribe and share, and hopefully I'll see you again on the web soon. Thank you for watching.